After I started working in an official capacity as an editor, one thing started to bother me really quickly. I could identify areas in a manuscript that could benefit from revision. I could offer ideas. I could relate rules. I knew what worked and what didn't, but I could not explain why. I just couldn't let that one go. I mean, as a writer, you're mostly interested in learning the rules and figuring out how to apply them to your book. That was all fine and good when I was working as a writer. But if I was going to impart rules on someone else, I had to know why. I just did. I couldn't stomach some sort of just 'cause response, right? So I began to dig into the reasons behind every this just plain works. And as these things always go, I found myself going deeper and deeper down a rabbit hole, one regarding the psychology of reading. Now, that might sound like I went off on an interesting but largely irrelevant tangent, but it was anything but. Literature is a really wild art form. It is actually collaborative. The writer only creates the framework, the reader has to finish it. And I don't just mean the work has to be received or heard to exist, the whole if a tree falls in the forest thing. I mean the reader finishes the creation of the work. They create the image in their head. They make connections between the written world and real life. They finish the book. Which means that we, as writers, have to understand what happens in a reader's head. We have to understand the creative process they go through in order to complete the work. We have to treat those readers as collaborative partners, not as an audience, as partners. So, back to the problem. Most writing advice really does treat technique as a collection of arbitrary rules. Show, don't tell, start with action, make your protagonist likable. As writers, we often memorize these mantras and try to implement them without ever taking a moment to consider there's actually some solid cognitive science behind why all this works. When you understand why these techniques work, when you realize how these rules actually align with the ways in which readers process new information, or form visual images, or emotionally connect with the text, everything changes. You stop following the rules just because and start making choices with intention. You can break rules effectively when you understand the psychological effect that rule breaking creates. Take something as simple as chapter breaks. Most writers think they're just convenient stopping points, a place to take a breath. But once you understand how readers process narrative flow and manage cognitive load, you realize chapter breaks are actually powerful tools for controlling pacing, building tension, and guiding attention. So that's what's behind this course. I don't just want to teach you techniques, I want to show you the psychology behind them. Because when you understand how your reader's mind works, you stop treating them as an audience. You begin to treat them as the collaborator they truly are.